Yep.
Hello, everyone. It's Fred Staub for Cruise Control. Got another action-packed live hour coming up with lots of automotive information, including Ram. They want you to be part of the revolution. We're going to take a look at JD Power's dependability study results that you would not believe just a few short years ago. We're going to have an edition of Les's favorite, As the Tesla Turns, including frozen door handles, removed steering parts, and the battery the size of a soda can. And Alpha reveals its compact SUV. And then I'm going to have a review of the very large Lexus 460 Luxury. So stay tuned.
That's a biggie.
That's a biggie. Stay tuned.
This is Cruise Control. Your on-air automotive magazine with co-hosts Fred Staub and Les Jackson. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
And welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. We've got a jam-packed hour for you filled with the latest automotive information. You're going out to buy a vehicle. Hey, you want to listen up because we'll tell you about some new models coming out. And certainly models that were just revealed this week. Right, Les Jackson?
At the Chicago Auto Show, that is.
Yep.
Lots of reveals. It's nice to see the shows back in shows.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Opening up.
Yep, and Ram is opening up an electric future. They want you to be part of the Ram revolution. We'll tell you what that is and how you can get involved.
That's right. And what brands are at the top of the JD Power Dependability Study? Famous yearly study. I am always very interested in which brands are sitting at the top and at the bottom.
Yeah, sometimes the ones at the bottom are even more interesting.
Oh, boy.
But the brands that won, I think, not that long ago, people would have been shocked. But we'll tell you what we mean by that. And it's time for As the Tesla Turns. Play the tiny violin, Les. Yeah. Well, we always keep you up to date what's going on with Elon Musk and his merry band of electric vehicle manufacturers.
Right.
What do we got this week, Les? Frozen door handles. We were going to go through the ways to clear frozen door handles on Teslas.
The auto industry figured out how to take care of that about 40 years ago.
Okay. And then remove steering parts. Seems like a good idea. And a battery the size of a soda can, which actually does seem like a good idea.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
And guess what? Over at Alpha, they've revealed their compact SUV. It's called the Tonale. And it's actually kind of attractive looking. It's rather sleek.
Yeah, I agree, and it's good to see Alpha get some new content there, get some new vehicles, because their lineup was pretty thin in the U.S., and it's certainly not a bad thing for any manufacturer to have a compact SUV in their lineup. But we'll talk about that, what powers it, and the options available. Just released at the Chicago Auto Show, and it's a big deal for them. Plus, I'm going to have an at-the-wheel review of a very large Lexus vehicle. It's been around for quite some time. It is the Lexus GX 460 Luxury, big SUV, body on frame, V8 power. Yeah, they don't build them like this anymore. Well, actually, they do, but we'll tell you about it when we come back on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub. He is Les Jackson. Check us out at cruisecontrolradio.com. We'll be right back.
Those are
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. It's your on-air automotive magazine. And have you joined the Ram revolution yet? To be honest, I haven't joined yet. If there's a revolution, I kind of want to know more about it. But we know all about this one, and it's all about Ram wanting people to really get on board and understand their the launch of their new Ram 1500 battery electric, which of course is following behind Ford's Lightning and Silverado.
Yeah, exactly. And you can find information about this at ramrevolution.com. It's a hub that opened up this week. They hope to have this battery electric Ram out by 2024. They want you to have input to it, real world input. But I'll tell you, if it's coming out in 2024,
that's a long time.
Real world input though may be over, because these things are designed well in advance, aren't they?
Well, yeah, and it's kind of they're kind of behind the curve on this one.
So they're
I'm totally confident it'll be good
yeah,
when it comes out.
yeah,
But I can see where they want to build up a bunch of enthusiasm for it over the next couple of years. Meanwhile, they'll know what mistakes, if any, Ford and Chevy have made.
yeah,
Ram, makes an impressive truck.
yeah. It's debuting the Ram Real Talk Tour. Year-long conversations with consumers at various events to better understand the next generation of Ram trucks. Interesting concept to get people excited about it. But, let's face it, this thing is well into development by now. But I think it's a good idea. It's to raise awareness of it coming, don't you?
Well, yeah. If you look back, at early 2000s, the Ford Thunderbird launch, a lot of teasing for a year.
A long time.
Then a delay
Yeah.
for another couple of years.
Yeah.
But the teasing helps. The Bronco, same thing.
It really helped the Bronco. I mean, that what
Yeah.
happens nowadays is people start forming groups, online groups and forums and things, and the chatter begins, and then probably there's somebody in those forums that leaks a little something to, just kind of gain interest or get more interest going, right?
That's right. You
So,
build enthusiasm,
yeah, you build in
and it works.
And it works.
It's name recognition. It keeps you in people's minds.
Yes, exactly. Well, let's talk about name recognition when it comes to JD Power's vehicle dependability study. And you want your name at the top of this, and you want it to be recognized. And not so long ago, these results would have been, earth-shaking, I'll say, in the automotive industry.
That's
right?
correct.
I'll just hasten you back to the early days of Kia and Hyundai, and these were just sort of one step above Yugos when they came out, weren't they?
They were cheaply made, cheap price. They were designed for the very lowest end of the automotive market for their entire marketing to get into the U.S. This is back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, kind of.
Was to get into the what did they call them? Subordinate loan market.
All right. And they were kind of for people that, hey, I could buy a used car, but I could get a new one for this
Right.
price, for the same price. Well, Kia, Genesis, and Hyundai earned the top 3 of 4 rankings for the JD Power 2022 U.S. Vehicle Dependability Study. Buick and Toyota were the other 2 brands that made the list with the fewest reported problems in 3 years of ownership. So how far have they come, huh?
Amazing. Well, when they came back in the early 2000s with their 10-year warranty, and their quality really started showing.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the JD Power study. It's in its 33rd year, and it's been kind of reimagined to include all the features and technologies that are in vehicles, and it covers 184 specific problems across 9 major vehicle categories, including climate, driving assistance, driving experience, exterior features, infotainment, a big one, interior powertrain, and seats. We'll have more results of this JD Power study when we come back on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub. He is Les Jackson. We will be right back with more Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub. My co-host in crime is Les Jackson, here to bring you a full hour of exciting automotive information, especially if you're going out to buy a vehicle or you just want to know, hey, what are some good vehicles? That's kind of what we're talking about right now with the JD Power Vehicle Dependability Study. I told you a little bit about it before the break. It is the 33rd year of this, and they look at a whole bunch of categories. Of course, Les, you know, the biggest one that gives people either satisfaction or a lack of satisfaction, especially in the first year or so of ownership, is infotainment. It is constantly a source of, in many cases, difficulty for people. We experience a lot of these systems when we drive press cars, and my goal is to not open the owner's manual, be able to connect my phone via Bluetooth, be able to use Android Auto, be able to use Apple CarPlay, and not have to go into the manual. If I have to go into the manual, to me, then that's not a great system. But let's take a look at some of the other winners in this. We told you the big ones were Kia, Genesis, Hyundai, and then Buick and Toyota overall. Owners of mass market vehicles have experienced fewer problems, the average of 190 problems per 100 vehicles, which is lower than the premium brands. So the mass market brands are a little bit better. As I mentioned before, infotainment systems remain the most problematic area, including Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity. I've had some press cars where I just can't connect to it. I don't know what it is.
Same here.
I try multiple cables. If it is a wired system, I reboot my phone. I try Apple. I try Android, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Not enough power in USB ports. Like I said, USB ports have become new cup holders. You need a bunch of them. You need them everywhere, Inaccurate or outdated map. That's frustrating. I've experienced that before. How about you?
Yeah, it's happening more often than it used to.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
So this is probably a surprise to some. The most dependable model for the second consecutive year, Porsche 911. How about that?
Yeah. Well, they are incredibly reliable. Now, when they get a lot of miles on them, they're going to break like any other car, but boy, are they expensive.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's look at some more of the numbers here. In the SUV segment, the highest ranked Lexus NX was the highest ranked vehicle. I actually have a GX to talk about today, but the NX was the highest ranked. And followed by the Lincoln MKC and the Cadillac XT4. Interesting that the XT4 is always one that people say, it's not that great or whatever, but it did well in the dependability study.
Yeah.
In the compact SUV, Kia Sportage and Hyundai Tucson. And these are the older models for both of them. They both have newer models, so that's good news for them. Large SUVs, Chevy Suburban, body on frame, it's been around for a long time, GMC Yukon, and Chevrolet Tahoe. So that is a hat trick for the folks over at GM. For that, premium, the midsize premium SUV was the Cadillac XT5, and the highest ranked was the Lexus RX. And then small premium SUV, Mercedes-Benz GLA. And the small SUV, highest rank, Kia Soul. And weirdly, people seem to like this, but you and I didn't really get it when we drove it. But the Toyota CHR.
Yeah. I'm sure it's good.
Yeah, it's a Toyota.
It just wasn't interesting.
I couldn't see out of it. The belt line.
It just didn't appeal to me.
And then upper midsize SUV was Kia Sorento, Dodge Durango, and Chevrolet Traverse. I've never been a fan of the Traverse. I thought they're kind of a big, boring vehicle, but maybe that's a good thing.
It is big and boring, but I've met a couple people that own them, and they just love them.
Now, remember, this data goes back a couple of years here. So, compact car was Chevrolet Cruze and Hyundai Elantra. And we're talking about the JD Power Dependability study, by the way. Compact sporty car, Mazda MX-5 Miata, Mini Cooper, and Hyundai Veloster. You just reviewed the Hyundai.
There you are. Yeah. Well, hey, it's a good machine.
And it's funny. I think probably what will happen is this whole large car, mid-size premium car segments will go away. Because you look at the large car was Chevy Impala, no longer available. Buick LaCrosse, no longer available. Dodge Charger, still here, but will be getting changes. Mid-sized, Hyundai Sonata was the leader. Chevy Malibu and Kia Optima. And then the mid-sized premium car was the Lincoln MKZ and the Lexus ES. So, mid-sized sporty cars. There. Mustang and Camaro. Just not. I'm not a fan of the Camaro because I can't see out of it.
Oh, I'm not either. They're well put together. It's just that they're not enjoyable to drive.
No, very bad visibility. Wide A-pillars. Can't see out the back window. I'm sure we'll get hate mail from the Camaro lovers. I love the V8. I love the way it drives. They've upgraded the interior. I think that's better, but visibility is just it's kind of impossible to see, and a lot of automotive journalists feel that way. So really, really probably the worst vehicle to see out of. So, but there you have a little bit about the JD Power Dependability study. Use it. Use that information when you're going out to the dealer showroom and just factor it in, right?
But don't go until next year.
Right, because you'll be spending a lot. Yeah. We were just talking not too long ago about the Chicago Auto Show, and coming up in New York, they're going to have the auto show in April 15th, I believe it is. And I think it will actually happen this year. And one of the things that's going to be revealed is the replacement for the Hemi engine. And it is going to be, if our intelligence is correct, it will be a straight-six turbocharged engine. And that's kind of been one of the stories here on Cruise Control, the return of the inline six. I think it started with the Mercedes, where they brought it back, and then it's going to continue on with probably we'll first see this engine in Jeeps. Our friend Jim Morrison has been saying, he said to someone, they asked him, well, are you replacing the Hemi with a six-cylinder? He says, are you coming to New York? Which sounds like something Jim would say. It's like saying it without saying it. That's the thing.
Well, it's the six is the most naturally balanced engine.
Yeah, smooth.
So smooth, torquey.
Yeah, and I think it can be packaged in to the existing vehicles, and because really when you look at the Wagoneer and the Grand Cherokee and all those, you got to get some better mileage factored in there. They sell a lot of them, and the CAFE restrictions are coming up, so they've got to do a better job on the mileage. And it's not really, it has Hemis. The Jeep has Hemis, and that's cool and all, but most people are not really buying it for the Hemi. They're just buying it for the power. If they can get that in a smaller package, hey, and better fuel economy, it's all good. Hey, I'm Fred Staub. He is Les Jackson. You're listening to Cruise Control. We will be right back, so stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. Lesson Fred here. We're rolling through, well, an awful lot going on in the industry. And of course, the Chicago Auto Show is going on right now.
Yeah. And you got some new vehicles being revealed, right?
Yep.
So let's talk about one of them. Comes from AlphaRomeo. We don't really see a lot of new vehicles from Alpha, but we got one, the Tonale. We were talking about what's the right way to say this.
Yes.
Is it the Tonale or the Tonale?
They want it to be the Italian pronunciation Tonale.
Yeah. I love the wheels on this thing. We've seen the wheels on other Alphas. I'll call them phone dial wheels because it looks like you could put your finger in them and turn them around.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool design. This is a compact SUV, and certainly that is a sweet spot for anyone to have this in their lineup. It was based on a 2019 concept, and these are state-of-the-art plug-in hybrid electric vehicles in a small package. This is exciting. They have an all-wheel drive with a 6-speed automatic transmission with a 15.5 kilowatt lithium-ion battery, 90 kilowatt electric motor, and a 1.3 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. 272 horsepower, and electric range of 30
that's getting
miles.
up there.
That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Now, if you need more, they have a 2-liter turbocharged 4, the big block, as you would say, with a 9-speed automatic transmission and 256 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Actually, it's a little less powerful.
But torquey.
You know, me, I'd probably opt for the less speeds in the transmission. You know that? I'd rather go for the 6-speed versus the 9.
I would too. I'm finding these 9-speed transmissions just wander between gears too much.
Yeah. So it is the first car in the market. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on this, but it is equipped with an NFT, a non-fungible token digital certificate based on blockchain technology, and it certifies the car upon purchase that evolves to represent its use during the car's life cycle with major benefits in terms of protecting residual value. I have no idea what that means. Do you?
I don't either. I was going to try to sound intelligent on this.
I'm just going to say I give up. Fungible sounds like we're talking about mushrooms or something, doesn't it?
Well, fungible, I know that word.
Okay.
That means variable according to outside influences.
So that means holds its value. It's not going to change.
Somehow. Right.
Okay. Well, let's get back to stuff we understand. This comes standard with Uconnect 5 on the 10.25-inch screen and a 12.3-inch driver's cluster screen, which is the best-in-class offering.
Yep.
And then their standard wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is nice. And adaptive cruise control, traffic sign recognition, intelligent speed assist, blind spot, and rear cross traffic path detection, which, by the way, is excellent to have. Available level 2 autonomy with traffic jam assist. A frequency selective damping suspension. And it will be available in 3 models: the Sprint, the TI, and the, what would you say, Veloce? Veloce.
Well, Veloce, of course, is always there. It's like
range.
Quattrofolio for the sports cars.
Yeah. So this is an exciting little platform, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, Alphas are always great fun to drive.
Yeah, and I like the size of it. I like that they're all plug-in hybrids, and I think this will. It's pretty exciting. It looks great with the wheels and all that. Of course, that the top of the range one is going to look better than the others. And you know me, a plug-in hybrid system to me is the way to go right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we will have more discussion about the Alfa Romeo Tonale. Don't sing that song.
I'm not gonna sing.
Just sit there quietly with your non-fungible token and watch it
That's
be
it.
non-fungible.
As a public service, I'm not going to sing.
All right, good. That sounds good. But yeah, there you have it. That big news. I think it's time for As the Tesla Turns, another
Yes.
look into the world of Tesla-isms. And, of course, we always get some mail. People say, oh, well, you know, you guys are making fun of Tesla. We're not, because we're also highlighting good stuff. So this has one not so bad thing, one kind of bad thing, and one really good thing in this segment. So,
Yeah.
So Les, we're going to start with this. Of course, Tesla has those door handles that sort of present to you. They're flat against the side of the car. We've been having a pretty cold winter, especially in the Northeast, and those doors have been freezing shut. So much so that people are going online and showing you their various approaches to banging on the side of the door to get the door handle to pop out. And one guy calls it the caveman approach. And even in the owner's manual, they have a video showing how to bang on the door to get the ice to break out, which I think is pretty funny.
May I suggest that you can remote start it?
Warm it
It's
up.
It's an electric car that'll warm up instantly. And let it run the HVAC nice and warm for 20 minutes before you go outside, and the doors will open.
I think that's a great idea. But unless you want to do the caveman pounding on the door thing, you know.
That's never a good idea. And people still do this. Don't do it. And that's they heat up a kettle of water.
Oh no.
And then they pour it, you know, down the door gap, and that is not good.
No. So that is our first story. And the next story, As the Tesla Turns, is a little bit weirder. Tesla secretly, according to this article that I believe came initially from CNBC, that Tesla allegedly removed one of two electronic control units used in the steering racks of Chinese-built examples of Model 3s and Model Ys in order to reach the end-of-year production goals. So they didn't have a lot of parts, so they just said, we're just going to put one of them on there. This information came to CNBC apparently from two employees and internal correspondence. What's weird about this is these electric motors provide feedback field to the driver, but they don't really control the steering per se. And only one of them is used, but the second one can be used if you opt for, down the line when it becomes available, full self-driving capability. That's the term they use. So they're building this into vehicles, these two motors. One is fine for everyday use, and it's just providing feedback to the steering. But the second one would be used when they would update the car with software that would theoretically allow it to become an autonomous vehicle. Problem is, what if you want to order that software down the line later on? It's sort of like what's happening with other vehicles. You know, hey, there's no backup assist here anymore. Can I put that on? Can I add electric seats in when the chips become available?
Well,
right?
No.
Probably not. And then the final thing that I think was kind of interesting is Tesla has talked about this battery. This battery, they call it the 4680 battery cell. It's about the size of a can of soda. And it's going to be a big advance for Tesla vehicles because it will take up less space, which means you'll have more room for storage in their vehicles, and it is more energy dense. And it's only about 1.8 inches in diameter and 3.1 inches high, and can hold 5 times more energy than the aforementioned 8 1865 and 2170 cells that it currently are being produced by Panasonic for Tesla. Interesting, right?
Well, that's
a good thing. I think
that's monumental. The fact is, if you have 5 times the energy, then you can, you have 2 ways you could go. You can greatly reduce the weight by putting fewer of these batteries in it, or more batteries for like 1,000-mile range.
Absolutely. Hey, we'll talk about this and more when we come back, and an at-the-wheel review on cruise control. Stay tuned. Coming up, an at-the-wheel review of the Lexus GX 460 Luxury. Stay tuned to Cruise Control.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub. We are talking about an at-the-wheel review, Les Jackson, and that is the Lexus Gx 460 Luxury. I had the good fortune to check this vehicle out for a week and talk a little bit about it. It is one large SUV. Of course, it is a body-on-frame SUV. It's got a 4.6-liter V8 engine, 301 horsepower, 6-speed automatic transmission, full-time, four-wheel drive. And it is like going back 10 years and what SUVs used to be. There's a good reason for that. It hasn't had a big refresh since 2010. But they've kind of kept it fresh by adding in things, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. They've added in a lot of different controls and things to the vehicle along the way. Traditional. That's what this thing is. Traditional. Body on frame, 6-speed auto, 4.6-liter V8 engine. Mileage is way down, 15 city, 19 highway. I mean, this is what we used to be the standard pickup truck, standard SUV. I mean, this was what we knew. And in the case of this GX, they're still there. But the thing is, and a lot of people always ask me, well, is the GX the Land Cruiser, right? Because the Land Cruiser is renowned. People love them in like Saudi Arabia and that they drive them through the deserts and they're indestructible. And yes and no. The LX is based on the full-size Land Cruiser. This was the GX. It's based on the Land Cruiser Prado, which is not sold here in the U.S. So really it is a gussied up Land Cruiser with all the options. Now, this was a 2022 model. And there's not a heck of a lot new in the 2022 model. Matter of fact, it has a GX Blackline Special Edition available in Starfire Pearl, Black Onyx, and Nori Green Pearl. Ours did not have that. And then they have a refined center console with an updated 10.3-inch multimedia touchscreen with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Amazon Alexa integration. These are all things that should be in a vehicle of this caliber and this price range. And the good thing about this thing, since it is, you sit up very upright inside it, and the rear glass is huge. The visibility is the best of any SUV I've found. Of course, the rear gate kind of swings out like a... sort of like one of the old tailgates on a family cruiser. I'm not really sure.
Or a delivery van.
Like a delivery van. I'm not really sure what that brings to the party. And there's a giant gas-charged rod that makes it happen. And it will push it out and almost knock you over. On the inside, very luxurious. There's the touch screen. They still go with the touchpad as well. What's weird, though, is a lot of the controls are almost underneath the steering wheel. They've been added in, things like the heated steering wheel and that. And as I said, they kept with that trackpad for your finger, which is sort of old school. There's even an old school Toyota-style cruise control and the flip-up cup holders in the back, the loop cup holders. Definitely brings me back in time to 10 years ago or so. But a lot of people like that, and these things sell well. But there's big changes on the horizon. V8 is going to go away. It's going to be a couple of different V6s, and it's going to be a completely new vehicle. But for now, we figured we'd review the one that you can buy. Tons of room in the back, although very old school. Spare tire mounted beneath the floor outside, just like old pickup trucks would do. On the inside, though, complete luxury, high-end finishes, comfortable seats. As I said, very upright seating, short dash, sort of truck-like. So it feels, in a sense, I think of it as a G-Wagon. You know, the G-Wagon was a military vehicle that was updated. And this is sort of the same feel that it has. Like, for example, to put it in all-wheel drive, you have to push the button that's under the steering wheel. I was in some snow. Once I found that, the thing would climb up a wall. But before pushing that locker button, you couldn't get through the snow. But it's like a vehicle like they've added things onto. But yet, people love them. People love them. Now, it doesn't come cheap, Les Jackson, for all this heft. Ours had a base price of $64,935. Then we popped for the Mark Levinson 17-speaker surround sound system with an automatic sound levelizer. That was $1,145. A DVD CD player for $800. I don't know if that will get
wait
a
a minute.
Will that get a lot of use? I don't think so.
Nobody's using those anymore.
No. Multi-terrain monitor. Okay.
Okay.
The sport design package with 19-inch dark gray metallic alloy wheels, tilt slide captain's chairs, unique lower grille, surround front and rear bumper spoilers. That was $2,020. Copperhead cargo mat, $140. Tow hitch with ball mount, $655. Tow hitch with ball mount, I guess again, was $75. Cargo net, $25. And scarlet taillights. That's interesting. Scarlet taillights. Anyway, that brings it up to $69,795. You throw in the destination of $1,075, you get up to $70,870. Now, the mileage, well, 15 city, 19 highway, and 16 miles was the aggregate number. You burn 6.2 gallons per 100 miles, and it was thirsty, and you're supposed to use premium in it. It is is an expensive vehicle to run. Annual fuel cost, obviously, when this Monroney was printed, it's probably different now, but annual fuel cost was $2,750.
Wow.
So if you like tradition, this might be the vehicle for you, but you gotta pay for that tradition, Les Jackson, because this 4.6 liter V8 engine likes to eat, and it likes to eat a lot of fuel.
Well, yeah. This is just an expensive vehicle to own. But if you need it, if you're, whatever your needs are, if you need one, they're incredibly reliable.
Yeah, and once I found that 4x4 locker, I went up about 1.5 feet of snow. I was able to drive up a driveway with about 1.5 feet of snow. Before that, before I didn't look under the steering wheel, then I had to, it was a struggle. This is another weird option. Key gloves. Key gloves, $25. What the heck is a key glove? Do you know what a key glove? I don't. I have no idea what that is.
I'm still trying to figure out the two trailer hitches.
That's right. Maybe one front and one back.
Are you?
So there you have it. If it's something that appeals to you, that's great. The new model will be coming along. Smaller engines, different platforms, still body on frame. But remember, if you wanted to order a Land Cruiser, the Toyota version of this, if you were outside of the U.S., they said it was something like a four-year wait for a new vehicle. So maybe you might want to go with this one that is available now. So there you have it. That is the Lexus GS 460 Luxury. We hope you've enjoyed that At the Wheel review and the rest of the Cruise Control show. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Les Jackson.
We're going to see you down the road. Check us out at cruisecontrolradio.com.